Hello, and welcome to Art Lounge.
Hey everyone, welcome to Project Part 21. I am excited to continue where I left off yesterday. And this is it right here. I did some more work. I actually did quite a bit of work last night before hitting the hay. And I got some good results. I captured a little bit more of her likeness, which I'm pretty happy about. Progressing pretty quickly, I would say. And a lot of it, as I mentioned before, has to do with just having a good photo for reference. Makes a huge difference, like, compared to the previous photo and having to work from like a snapshot of a video to actually having a photo. It's let's say makes a big difference. And right now I'm just trying to get as much detail down as possible so that when I do switch over to the next stage, the next layer, I won't wrestle with the difference, really. That really seemed to take up a lot of the time from the previous project. I was spending a lot more focus on just trying to get certain details in, and my plan is to just do that as much as possible for this one, and just have the next stage be about finalizing the lines, and playing around with color. I think yesterday I was mentioning I was mentioning Sex and the City, but I don't think I got the girl right. I think the name was Samantha. The blonde's name was Samantha. And I looked her up, and what's her name actually? Her name was Kim Cattrall. Kim Cattrall. And I remember I saw her actually in another movie. It was like an 80s movie. I'm gonna bring it up right now too. It's been a while actually. It's a really old movie. Where she plays like this mannequin called Mannequin. That's the name of the movie. It has Andrew McCarthy, like a really young Andrew McCarthy, play the main character, and he's like this, he's an artist, and he does like set designs, I guess, and I forget, it was like some sort of like supernatural kind of thing that happened from back in Egypt, where like a princess of one of the Egyptian pharaohs gets set in stone, I guess, or put in stone for disobeying, or I forget exactly what the full story of it is. And then she wakes up in modern day to this artist, and they start developing a relationship. It's a funny 80s movie, actually. I liked it. But she reminds me a lot. That young version of Kim Cattrall reminds me of this model. I think maybe that's why I actually ended up picking her, or she caught my eye. I thought maybe there's something familiar about her. And then yesterday when I was talking about it, it kind of clicked. I was like, oh, that might be it. She kind of resembles Kim Cattrall. A really young Kim Cattrall. And she still looks pretty good for her age. I'll say that. If I was a guy her age, I'd be very happy. Guy that she's dating her age, I'd say. I'd be happy. I wouldn't be like, I am a fan of cheesy 80s movies. Could be slight nostalgia. That could be a big reason why. But I like those actors too. Like I like Andrew McCarthy, and also watched another movie where he was in it, and Rob Lowe was in it. Demi Moore was in it. I think it was like St. Elmo's Street. I think that's what it was called. Also, another really cheesy 80s movie. But fun to watch. You know, I think it's a good break from anything that's going on now. Just wanted to see exactly if that's what it was called. St. Elmo's Fire. That's what it was called. I think him and Rob Lowe played in another movie as well. Called Class. And that might have been like his very first movie, but I don't remember. I'm not really sure. Andrew McCarthy's first movie. But that's also a classic, and I think it is nostalgia. I remember being really young and watching that movie, and I might have seen it not too long ago, and it still was pretty good actually. I still liked the story, how it unraveled. Their acting was pretty good. I did enjoy the cinematography as well, and there is a certain thing of like just watching those movies and seeing what, you know, certain areas were like back then. What the style was like, you know, how they dressed and that sort of thing. think the fun part of this project is gonna be working on her eyes, because like it's a pretty good photo, like you can see up close. So bringing them out is gonna be a lot of fun, and it's a nice color. It's like a greenish gray, which I don't really see a lot of. I don't really see a lot of gray eyes. It's like right in between green and gray. It's pretty cool, actually. Pretzel is pumping up these beats today. This is supposed to be the chill lounge, or rather the chill channel that I'm playing from, but I'm okay with this. It's kind of a change of pace. I personally wouldn't have this on my playlist on my phone or anything, but I think for drawing it kind of works. And to be honest, I'm not paying way too much attention to the music, as you guys have found sometimes I might overlook like sprite music, which isn't my style at all. But I'm okay with this. Ooh, something that I was gonna mention actually in the beginning of the stream. I will be making some big announcements tomorrow. So mark your calendar. Make sure you tune in. There are going to be some changes. You know, some are good. Some I think aren't that great. You know, personally, I would like to maintain the current schedule, but other projects are not allowing me to do that. And yeah, I'm going to be starting on them soon. So the hours are going to have to change to just evening streams, unfortunately. It's not going to be forever. Hopefully at some point in the future, I will continue to stream more often, like four times a day. But for now, I'm going to have to cut it to only twice in the evening. So I'm still trying to decide actually whether it's going to be 1 hour of drawing basics every day at 8 o'clock and then a different stream at 9 p.m. So for example, Mondays it would be drawing basics at 8 p.m. and then at 9 it would be drawing comics, and then Tuesday it would be 8 p.m. drawing basics, 9 p.m. drawing project stream, and on Wednesday it would be drawing basics and coloring comics at 9 p.m. Or just divide them all into 4 days and have them 2 hours each. So 2 hours on Monday of drawing basics, 2 hours on Tuesday of drawing comics, and 2 hours on Wednesday drawing project, and then coloring comics for 2 hours on Thursday. So it's between those two schedules, and I'm not sure. And if you guys have a preference, if you guys would rather see drawing basics every day as opposed to once a week, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment in a chat or in any of the social media links posted on the Twitch channel, and let me know which one you would prefer. I'm still debating on it, and if I get more polls, if I get more people talking about it, then I will make that change at some point. So I might start out with one and then change over depending on how many people would prefer the other schedule. Because honestly, I do like all of them. I do enjoy drawing basics. I think it's important for whoever is learning to have it as a reminder every day. You know, just having reviews talking about different ways, having an opportunity to ask questions, you know, discussing their process, that sort of thing, as opposed to once a week. You know, I don't think that you gain much from just drawing once a week, and I think just being there every day as a reminder, as motivation, hopefully, to keep drawing and get more info, get tips on how you can improve, is pretty important to the process, to the learning process. So it's kind of hard to decide on that. And I also do enjoy practicing it myself. As I mentioned before, I think that there's never a point where you could learn too much. You know, so if you're learning anatomy, it's always an opportunity to improve on what you do know already. Maybe even notice new things that you didn't notice before. You know, so I think it's one of the reasons why I'm hesitant about just having it once a week. But positive side is that I'm going to get more done in each other stream. So I'll be able to draw more in a drawing comics stream. I'll be able to finish more in the project stream, that's for sure. So it's like sacrificing one thing for another sort of thing, which is why I am turning to you viewers to kind of get a better idea of preference. But nonetheless, I'm still going to be making some exciting new announcements tomorrow. Aside from just the schedule, aside from the times changes. The times are going to change next week. So I'll be still announcing these changes throughout the week, just to refresh anybody's memory, or for new viewers to know that the times are going to change, and here are all these other ways that you guys can participate and be part of the stream. I'm going to try to keep it concise each day to maybe like a 10 to 15 minute overview of the new announcements. And then starting next week, it's just going to go back to mainly focusing on the stream itself. Time is the biggest enemy. That's the only thing that really gets in the way of a lot of stuff, is just time. And the more that I pay attention to it, the more I realize how like every minute counts to it. Like when you're working on projects, it's just incredibly important. I'm a little hesitant to actually just move on to the next stage. You know, there are some things that I feel like I've gotten down pretty well. But I still feel like it shouldn't be as quick as this. You know, I'm not used to the fast pace of finishing things. Like I like to spend some time on it. And I feel like if I move too quickly to it, then it's like you didn't do good enough. You know, you could have learned so much more from the project, from the process that you were in. So instead of right now me tinkering with like the face, I'm pretty satisfied with the face. There may be just a few things here and there I might change, but because I'm not tinkering with the face now, I'm like tinkering with the hair. I'm like, you could get the strands better. You know, the quality of the strands could be much better. So I'm turning a 3-step process into a 2-step process because originally it should have been that traditionally the blue pencil work is just like the sketching period where you just get like the general shape of your work down. It's like the skeletal structure, and then you use a regular pencil to start shaping it more, you know, over those blue sketches, and then you ink it finally. But at this rate, you know, I'm liking the blue lead, and what it's gonna look like is I'm gonna just switch to like the inking process after this. I think this music is more like EDM. Not really sure, you know, I'm not a big EDM fan.
We can play the same game.
But I don't really mind it for drawing, and I also don't mind it if I'm playing like racing games. It just kind of works well together. I do enjoy racing games more than any other type of game. Like there's, oh, that's not true. Like I like RPGs. I like games that are similar to Machinarium, to Pillars of Eternity, like adventure games. Those are fun. But I would say next in line would be racing games after those. It's just to show, or just to say how little I care for any like first person shooter games or anything. I absolutely hate those games. They're so stupid. Like the story must be super amazing, and like the character development must be really good in order for me to even consider it. And even then, I just really don't care for, like, if I don't have to do any of the things like that, I won't do it.
Play the same game.
I'm also kind of curious to see if this model actually has these kind of lashes, like just really long lashes. And I don't think that they're fake ones. I think she just naturally has them. Or it's really well done. But by the looks of the bottom ones, I think they're actually real. Based off of though, going back to talking about the schedule, but based off of some of the responses that I've gotten and some of the input that I've got, I think I'm most likely, for the moment, gonna stick to having drawing basics as like the starting stream, and then having the other ones alternate days. Let me check to see what's going on with Pretzel today. It's very... I'm not sure if this is the station that I'm on right now. Yeah, it seems like it's the same stream. It didn't, I think it's good because I was noticing that the other station that I was using, songs are starting to cycle. I was recognizing songs already. It's hard to believe that I went through like 600 hours. I think something is off there. Maybe because I'm closing it and then starting it again. It's playing the same songs. I'm also a fan of the model's birthmarks, like the placement of her birthmarks. There's also a little bit of freckle work, which I'm also a fan of. But you don't tend to see that much. I don't really notice that, like when I'm looking through Instagram, whether it is digital illustration or even traditional like paintings or anything. I don't notice people putting in a lot of birthmarks and freckles, which I don't get. They're very attractive. And I think some of it, maybe, I'm not going to say all of it across. I think some of it has to do with the fact that people are chasing this like very generic standard of beauty.
The heartbeat now starts weeks, marking the reflection, crescendo to the drop. That's the main attraction. Nintendo mushroom bomb, stop button mashing, ink on the page for indelible detachment. You now reaching the stage of a chemical reaction. Now reaching the stage of a chemical reaction.
Time is flying, ladies and gents. It looks like it's coming close to an end for today's project stream. But, as I mentioned earlier, tomorrow is going to be pretty exciting news. Some interesting development that I'm going to be unpacking on stream, so make sure you check back in to hear what it's all about, to see what's new. And I'm going to take a 5-minute break and prepare for the next stream, which is coloring comics. I think just because of how much I enjoyed the stream before, where I was using color pencils, I am going to continue on with that today. I will get back to watercolors, I promise. I promise myself, and I promise you as viewers, because it is a great medium. I still really enjoy that process. I like using brushes. I think I just have to experiment a little bit more on watercolor paper to see that it is something more to do with the paper than it does with my my understanding of like water to pigment ratio, because it seems like it's very sensitive. The paper that I'm using it on is very sensitive to how much water is on the brush, and I don't think it matters as much when you're using actual watercolor paper. It becomes more about the amount of water that you use, how diluted you want your colors to look, rather than, you know, having the fear of like, oh, the paper is just gonna crinkle up and it's gonna seep through to the other side and that sort of thing. It's a shame because I really like the quality of the paper that I'm using. Like, I like the thickness of it, and I like how it feels when it comes to drawing on it. Whereas I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy using watercolor paper to draw on. You know, I think that it's really rough texture because it is so thick. So lines are going to be really jaggedy looking. So I just got to play around with it a little bit more. And even if I don't have the chance to, you know, as I mentioned, time is of the essence. I don't have much of it. But even if I don't, I will come back to just watercoloring on stream using the same paper and trying to see if maybe I could just improve my technique even more so that it suits the paper. Just get better and better and more sensitive to like how much water I'm using on a brush. And really it's also like understanding the brushes themselves. Like, for example, if I'm using a really thick brush, then it could be in some ways advantageous because I have more pigment on the brush itself, and I'm not constantly dipping it back in water or, you know, having more water on the brush because I have it from the initial time that I used it in water. But there's also a chance that I pick up way too much water on it, and because it's big, it absorbs more of it. So it's really kind of like playing between that and finding a good middle ground to make sure that it works for that specific paper. Any which way, I am going to cut it at this point for the project stream for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoy the content, hit the like and subscribe button. They both go a long way in helping the stream grow, and it will be greatly appreciated. If you guys have any questions, if you have any suggestions, as I mentioned before, about time and schedules, what you prefer to see, leave them in the comments. I'll write you back. I'll talk about it in the next stream. And stick around. Yeah, I'll be back in 5 minutes for coloring comics.
Hello, and welcome to Art Lounge.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Coloring Comics Part 21. I will be continuing John Buscema's Conan the Barbarian, and I am going to be continuing using colored pencils. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun process.